Hey everybody, today I'm going to be reviewing this new foldable drone from Eachine. It's the E51 here. Just another one of these foldable drones. There's a lot of them out there, and this one's really cool. This looks a lot like the JJRC Elfie, but I think this is a lot better because it comes with a controller. Of course, holds your phone here in the middle, so you know, a nice design. Even though the controller is a bit unusual, I do like how it holds your phone in the middle. It makes FPV very easy to see, but just easier to fly. I did not like the Elfie at all, the way it flew with the app only. I mean, the arms just fold out here, and they just kind of, they don't necessarily have a locking mechanism. They just kind of snap into place. So you could knock an arm out of place as you're flying, so just be mindful of that. It's got the Mavic style props, you know, that kind of swing and lock into place as you spin in the air. It uses a 1S 750 milliamp hour battery, and that the battery takes about 2 hours to charge here with the included USB charger. The light turns red when you plug it in and goes off whenever it's charged up. Comes with just one set of these spare, you know, of the prop pieces, so it's just enough to repair one side of each of a prop, but you can't replace like one actual whole prop because it's just one part of each side of a prop. So I wish they would have included more of the prop pieces, as cheap as they are. So I don't really understand why they didn't include a whole set of 8 of them for all the propellers, since you could very easily break a propeller on this. And of course it comes with a Phillips screwdriver. Let's go ahead and go over the controller. As I said a while ago, the phone goes here in the middle. It's got your auto takeoff here and your auto landing. And of course it's got an altitude hold, as you can see with the self-centering stick. It's got yaw trim, and it's got your pitch and roll trim, your power button right here. On the top here, on this top one right here, this is your turn to home. Just this top left one. Top right here doesn't do anything. Your top left here is a headless mode, and your number 1 here, the top left, is your 3 rates. There's a low, medium, high. There are no 360 flips on this that I could find on it, but I'm not a huge fan of that, especially on something like this, so it's not that big of a deal to me. But pretty basic controls. Like I said, your phone goes in the middle, but you're going to use this the Eachine Fly app. And once you connect to the Wi-Fi, you'll press play. And of course it's going to change to your FPV feed, your video and your photo and your fly with your accelerometer, your on-screen displays on and off, just like all the other ones. I'm not going to go over that because they're all the same. But that's the app. I'll have a screenshot of it up here from the Play Store of what the app is that you need to install. So, you know, overall, pretty nice flyer. It does, like I said, with 3 rates, it does, the yaw does increase with the rates. The lights that are in it are, I believe they are red and blue, or blue. Let me double check on that again. You press the power button here on the top, and it's red and white. It's red in the rear and white in the front. The camera does tilt, so you can tilt it all the way, you know, like a 45-degree angle, or straight up. I'm going to have it straight up so I catch more of the horizon. As you fly forward with the pitch, you're still going to be aiming down at it. So it does have a tendency to kind of, even with the barometer, it has a tendency to kind of, when you fly really quick, to want it to kind of lose its altitude. And sometimes I've flown it into the grass, but that's not a really huge deal. But when you do the auto landing, I recommend that you're down at least to eye level and bring it on down. If you do it from like up 10-15 feet, twice I had it just fall as it came down a few feet and then just fell to the ground. So I'm not sure if the barometer's confused or what caused it, but it did it to me twice, enough for me to at least mention it to you. But both times I was landing from up high. If I did it just down at eye level or something like that, it went on and landed just perfectly. But if you do it from really high up, I would not recommend doing the auto landing from really high up, because for some reason it just twice somebody just fell to the ground. So I think that's enough here. We kind of covered everything with the basics of it. Let's go ahead and move along to the flight review of it. Alright, so we have the Eachine E51 foldable drone out here found up. I've got it connected up with the Wi-Fi here to the FPV. I'll go ahead and start recording video with it. Let's go ahead and we'll take it on auto takeoff. It takes right off there. You don't have to unlock the props or anything with it. See, it's holding its altitude pretty good. I'm going to go ahead and increase the rates. That's medium rate. Let's show you the yaw. And then let's take it up to the highest rate. So there's the lowest rate. And there's medium rate. And there's highest rate. The yaw increases quite a bit from the lowest to the medium, but not as much between the medium and the highest rate. Like I said, it doesn't have anything real fancy. There's no 360 flips. Just kind of let the north breeze kind of gently push it along. It's not a super sporty flyer. But overall, it flies pretty good. Just have to be mindful of the, as you really fly it aggressively, it can kind of tend to lose its altitude a bit. So I'm kind of flying it gently. You can see there's quite a bit of pitch there in the highest rate. Bring it over here and we'll do an auto landing. I'm going to bring it down lower so that I know that it works. So I'm bringing that down here. Let's bring it over closer to the... And there's the auto landing. I don't want to run into Corey there. And that was kind of me fighting it here a little bit as I was trying to adjust. I didn't want to slam into Corey, so that's why it was a little bit of a rough landing. Let's go ahead and we'll do an auto takeoff again. Let's go ahead and we'll stop recording video. Make sure we got that saved. The flight time on this thing was around, I got around 7 minutes on this thing. Flight time, a little over 7 minutes. I didn't mention at the table review. You can see that I kind of lost altitude a little bit. But I wasn't able to get how long the LVC is because those LEDs you can see are not super easy to see during the day. So it was hard to see when I was flying in the day. I should have done it at night to see just how long the LEDs flashed. The FPV on it is a little bit laggy, and of course that's very common with these FPV, Wi-Fi FPV flyers. So the video may be kind of choppy depending on how many frames are lost, but these always are gonna be laggy. Some are better than others. This one is not the best. It's about average, I'd say, for what I'm seeing here. Of course, the farther out you get, the more choppy it's gonna get with the signal. The more frames that may be lost in your FPV feed. So it's probably going to affect the video quality here. We'll have to just see the video quality side by side with this to see how much of it was dropped. But it's certainly not going to be a long range FPV flyer. See there, it kind of lost altitude a little bit on me and I wasn't really doing anything too aggressive. But overall it flies fairly nice. I don't really have too many complaints on the flying, except for the slight drop in altitude at times. Just be mindful when you try to land it and use auto land, just don't do it from very high up. That's when I've had the 2 instances where it just fell to the ground. Now, thankfully there's no landing gear or anything. It fell to the ground and didn't break anything, didn't do any damage at all. So it seems to be able to handle it pretty good.
Don't hit Corey with it either.
Yeah, don't hit Corey with it either. Thankfully, these little brush motors and props are not going to hurt anybody. They may sting a little bit. You're not going to cut somebody up with a little toy drone. Like I said, there's no 360 flips to demonstrate. It does have headless mode, 1 key return, but I'm not a fan of that, so I'm not going to demonstrate it. You see it, I mean, it loses altitude a little bit there, but not terrible. But a few times really aggressively I had it kind of fly into the grass when I was trying to turn around. Let's go ahead and we'll bring it down here a little lower and away from Corey and do an auto landing here. That I picked the worst spot possible to have it come down. That's why the prop's gonna bang. But overall, not a bad little drone, not super expensive. I would recommend this over the JGRC Elfie. It's just a better drone, having a controller. And of course, like I said, you got the Wi-Fi FPV on this version, so, and a tiltable camera. So overall, not a bad little drone for the price. And I do think it's worth checking into. So have a good day and stay tuned for more videos. And
the power of the dark side.